You're listening to Art Heroes Podcast, the show to help you thrive as a digital artist. Tune in to learn how to transform your passion into a career. Get inspired by other kick-ass 2D and 3D artists, and find out what it takes to be an art hero.
Hello everyone. This is Maria JD. Thanks so much for joining Art Heroes Podcast, and Merry Christmas. This is this time of the year, so I'm sure I'm going to be repeating the same thing so many times again. Anyway, today we've got a special episode, and not because I'm wearing a Santa hat, I'm actually not, but I'm going to be talking to Cheryl Chan. She caught my attention because she creates amazing anime characters in 3D, and I was really thrilled to learn that she only does it because she loves it. She's like, this traditional hobbyist artist in a really good sense. So I'm really excited to talk to Cheryl and learn a little bit about her process and just how she brings the characters to life. Please meet Cheryl Chen.
Okay, we're now live. Second attempt. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
Thanks so much for coming on the show. Guys, this is Cheryl Chan, and everybody who's been listening to Art Heroes podcast before knows that I'm a huge fan of having girls on the show because we're really few. We're like barely 10-15% of the industry. And I'm like triple excited when there is a girl on Art Heroes podcast. So yeah, Cheryl, thanks so much for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, so actually, I would just like to start with you because I virtually met Cheryl through Instagram because I came across her account with like huge following. How many followers do you now have?
Like 60,000-ish. Yeah, around there.
Yeah.
Maybe
So something
61,000.
closer to 70K. Yeah, there's like
no.
now 67K.
No, 60 on the lower end of 60, but yeah.
Okay, you know better. Anyway, yeah. It's like that's a lot. And I think it's just you also have the style that makes your art pretty unique. So I'm really curious, really wanted to know about you, about your art, and kind of what you do. Do you mind just like introducing yourself, like what you do in real life?
Now I'm working as a software engineer, so I do 3D art as like a hobby, mostly just inspired by anime. From when I was like just back in middle school, I just really watched a lot of anime and I really liked the characters, but I couldn't draw. So for some reason I did 3D instead. Yeah, just learning from YouTube tutorials and stuff in my free time. And then I kind of just continued doing that for like 6 years about now. Yeah.
Wow, this is crazy. So instead of drawing, you went for 3D and started recreating your favorite characters in 3D.
So yeah, kind of the longer routes, I guess. But I think I just enjoyed just because 3D art is more technical in a way as well, and I didn't really enjoy things like learning how to shade or perspective, all those kinds of things. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. So 3D basically is your art tool. Just.
Yeah.
Okay. And so being more specific then, okay, before we go into that, like just, back to the background, where exactly are you from? Like, originally, and where are you now?
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I was born in New Zealand, but I'm also Taiwanese. So I've been in New Zealand and Taiwan, and now I'm in London because I studied here for uni, and now I'm working here as well. Yeah.
Okay, but you never really had like art background, or you did?
Not really. Yeah, it was just mostly because I had a lot of free time, so that's just what I did.
Okay, amazing. Love that. So, okay, now we can go back to your free time and your tools. So, what are the tools that you're using for your art projects?
So mostly I use Blender because that was like the most accessible thing to me when I was starting out. And I also picked up a couple of other software like Substance Painter for textures and Marvelous Designer for like clothes and stuff. So yeah, those are the main three. And I guess Photoshop as well is another one just for like some post-processing. But yeah, it's mainly in Blender.
Okay. And what do you use for rendering?
So the Blender Cycles engine, yeah,
Okay.
it's just all together, yeah.
How crazy. How crazy. I'm just like really surprised that this is your hobby. Have you ever like thought of transforming your hobby into something bigger?
I guess like especially when I was like applying for uni, I did consider doing art as well. But I mean, because I also did programming and I enjoyed that too, so I ended up taking that path instead. Yeah, so I have done like some freelancing stuff, but not a whole lot. Yeah, I guess I enjoy it more when it's like a hobby because I just can do whatever I want more so, and I like that freedom. So at the moment, I'll probably just stick with it being a hobby for now. But yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So, um, when it's your hobby, how frequently do you complete projects? Because I mean, I see that you don't really post whips. Like you normally you almost like right away publish a polished project. So how long does it take you? And yeah, in your
Yeah,
life.
it depends on I guess what's happening in life and how much I procrastinate and stuff. It could be anything from like a few days if it's something just like a portrait, like a simple portrait, to a couple weeks to like months if it's something more detailed. Yeah, so there are definitely times where like for a couple of weeks I don't touch anything because I'm just I guess caught up with some other things. Um, but yeah, it can take me quite long to like publish the work. Yeah.
Okay. And can you talk to me a little bit about your inspiration and the choice of characters? Because obviously, I mean, it's not my opinion, but it's quite obvious that people like quite a lot what you do. So, do you think it's about your art, or you think it's about the choice of subject, less of like anime, or it's about the combination? Why do you think you're so likable?
Uh, so
And I like
I
it too. I think it's just like, but I mean, like, I can talk later about why I like it. But just, what do you think first?
so I guess at least the ones that like the most popular are usually like popular characters in anime that I like make in 3D. So yeah, those I guess fan art of like really popular characters is a way of like people getting interest.
Okay.
Yeah, and also because I guess a lot of my characters are female characters. Usually they're like cute girls, so that helps a lot in terms of like the subject matter. So uh, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not super easy to make cute girl look cute in 3D. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
like
that's true.
too easy to spoil a girl in 3D.
Yeah, I
Like,
definitely do also have some times where I struggle, have some things I go into a bit of the uncanny valley. So it is something that I'm like still adjusting based on, what people say as well, like from the feedback that I get. So
mhm.
uh, yeah, I guess just took a lot of failing and just trial and error to kind of figure out what works and what doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So, like back to subject matter, how do you choose the next character? I mean, obviously you like anime, but imagine like once you're done with your current project, how are you going to pick what you're working on next? And do you actually
Mhm.
use references? Oh, sorry, not references, but like do you work from a concept and like specific shot from like an anime movie, or how do you go about that?
I guess it depends. So, um, usually it's like if I watch a show or something and there's a character that I just like, then I might want to try to make them. Yeah, or if I'm just like, or even playing games or anything that there are some designs that I like, then I'll like remember them and try to work them into a character. Uh, So I do just, in the beginning, I just gather a bunch of references usually and try to like get a general like feel of the character. And then later, if there's like a particular scene maybe that I want to work it into, I guess my more recent ones have been more based on scenes more so than just thinking of the pose and everything by itself. So yeah, it just depends on how I feel, I guess. Yeah, it's a lot of it is just there isn't really a direction always as well. Yeah.
But do you publish everything that you're working on, or it's just or there is like a lot of the iceberg that nobody sees?
Yeah, so at least the ones that I finish, I will publish. But yeah, there are a couple ones that I'll get started, and if it just doesn't seem to work out, or if it ends up turning into a different character instead, that there's some other character that comes along that I'm interested in, then I might get started on something else too, and then they get kind of abandoned. Yeah.
That's all right. I'm sure they're okay with that. Do you only work with the like publish on Instagram, or do you use other platforms?
Yeah, so I also have an art station as well, which
Yeah.
I've had for longer than I've done Instagram. Yeah, so those are the two main platforms that I use for now. Yeah.
And in terms of, you and your art being popular on Instagram, do you do anything about it? I mean, do you promote it in any way, or just like, how do you think people find you?
Um, so I don't do anything too special. Like I'll post in my art station and my Instagram, and also like there's a Blender artist forum that I would post to sometimes. But yeah, I think at least the ones that do get a lot of attention are fan art that were like maybe popular. There's like a popular hashtag at that time, and then it, like my timing coincided well, and then people will find it that way. Maybe I'm not too sure either. Though, yeah. Also, I guess another source is there are like those anime accounts where they post a lot of anime artwork. I have had my stuff picked up by some bigger accounts and shared, and that's how also other people find me as well, I think. Yeah, so yeah, through all those feature accounts.
How interesting. So it seems that it just like happens naturally to your art and like to you. I mean, you just make it sound so easy.
No, well, I guess a lot of the attention has come from like a few works, and then the others are kind of so yeah, I guess there are just a few that are more explosive in terms of their popularity, which where I got a lot of my attention from, and then from there people find out about my arts, and then they like maybe they like the other things as well, and yeah.
But that's like super normal. I mean, that happens to every artist because
Yes.
some other works are more likable than like than the others, and that is totally fine. Just like resonate more with like higher number of people, but then sometimes it just like takes one artwork to make it, or just to actually like gain that traction. So I think I would say that's not really like different from many others.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
just a bit of luck, I guess, with like the
Mhm.
algorithm, maybe. I'm not too sure. But
You
yeah.
mentioned feedback just before. So, like feedback that you get and all of this. So, where do you actually get feedback? And so how would you go about it? Like, you also mentioned Blender forum. There will be like Facebook, I guess, right?
So no, there's like a Blender artist forum, yeah, specifically for artists that use Blender. So when I was starting out, I did post some of my like works in progress on that site, and then people would give you feedback based on that. So that was a place where I guess, learned a lot as well. And now it's just also like comments on my Instagram. Like if I do make a character that seems a bit strange, people will point it out. And yeah, just taking that feedback into account as well is really helpful at times.
And do you still learn? as of tools that you need to know to make better characters, or at this point you're mostly creating?
Yeah, now I guess at least when I was starting out, I did watch a lot of tutorials, and now not so much. It's really just, yeah, I just try to make characters, I guess. Uh, yeah, and then maybe if there's a specific aspect that I'm not too sure of, then I'll look for a tutorial that is specific to that. But um, yeah, I don't sit down and specifically try to look for something that I'm not looking to like learn yet. Yeah.
And so how long do you think it took you, what was like the learning curve from knowing absolutely nothing to like to your first character in Blender? What was it like?
So probably like in the first year, I didn't take it too seriously then. So a lot of it was just following whatever tutorials that I could find. It looked good and getting more familiar with like the interface. And then when I tried to start making my first characters, they all looked really strange as well, especially in that first year. Uh, so I think it took maybe around a year for me to make some more human-ish looking characters. They were all quite strange looking in
Yeah,
the start
okay.
for sure. Yeah.
And have you tried any other like tool or software? Because like probably ZBrush would be the standard in the industry for characters. So it's it's very interesting to see that that you've only like worked with Blender. However, I don't know. Maybe there was something else.
Yeah, I haven't really used ZBrush yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess because I've gotten comfortable with Blender now, and at least when I was starting out, since ZBrush I think is
Of
paid.
course, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just easier to go with the free stuff, and yeah, so I just went
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that
yeah, of
mostly.
course. Of course. And is there anything else that you think you would be learning in the future to, like keep improving your art?
So I guess definitely do want to improve on like sculpting as well, because I do largely work with polygonal modeling more so. It's not that
Oh
natural
wow.
way of working. Yeah, so I think it makes me take really long. So I've seen like sculpting is a lot more natural looking, but it's something I definitely need more practice in. Also like expressions as well, making characters more expressive, maybe even animating a little bit. Those are all things that I would like to do as well. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the next step you would like to take your art to? I don't know, like could be technical or could be just, visually, or is it just about like practicing more and adding more characters to your portfolio?
Mm, I guess I guess I'd like to get better at making original characters, like maybe learning more about character design as well. Uh, maybe even making like just recurring characters that have a bit of a story tied to them. Um, yeah, and having them interact with each other, because right now they're all really standalone, just one character at a time, kind of. Uh, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And do you ever like imagine yourself working in the industry and as a in as a character artist, or just within the whole like 3D art world?
Mm, it's definitely something I have like thought about, though I guess I'm also just still not so confident in some ways, in that like my characters are quite limited to like one particular subject. I'm mostly like mainly female and like in one type of style, so I feel like I'm a bit limited in that side. And also I'm not that good at following concepts at that time. So like now I do more fan arts, but I do try to follow the concept of an existing character, but at least yeah, that's something that I always have trouble sticking to like one thing. I'd always be like winding around and changing things a lot. So I think just the way I work right now is a bit too messy as well. That's yeah, it doesn't really work. I'm not working very efficiently, I guess. But yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I get that, but I'm hearing really mixed opinions about that, and some people will say that having just one particular style would be of an advantage. Definitely different schools of thought out there, but it depends again on who you're talking to. It's just some people say like, yeah, if you've got one style, at least you know how to do that one style really well. So it could be a matter of a match with the studio, but yeah, definitely it's I just really like your approach that you keep it as art, it's not, and because 3D art is not a very common tool. Most people who are in the industry are using it more of like work art tool, and they'll be expressing themselves in different form of art. And so in your case, this is the form of expression, which is like really crazy to me, um, because of
Yeah.
like how technical it is, and yeah, specifically like
Yeah, I guess
Blender.
I also just like the technical nature more so than, yeah, like that's part of the, I don't know, fun as well. For me.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're like the technical type of artist.
I guess so. I think, yeah, the way I work as well, especially since I do more like working up the polygons and then having to care a lot about things like topology, which is all quite technical stuff. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, like a way to de-stress as well. Like when you're like just shifting vertices and like the polygons around, it's just kind of chill at times. But yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, what is the piece of advice you could give to somebody who wants to create characters like yours? So, like, learn Blender, let's say, and just like make art similar to yours. Where would you send the person to learn?
So I guess at least for me, I learned mostly online. So there were a couple of sites that would dedicate to a lot of tutorials, some paid, some maybe not. So for me, like Blender Cookie was one place where they had like lots of comprehensive tutorials that will take you through like making like maybe a character from a design, something like that. So that was one place. Though, yeah, I guess I learned it was pretty freeform for me. Just like if there's things on YouTube that kind of are related to what I'm interested in, then that's something I would like look into. Yeah, I guess just being able to.
It's just like makes sense that there is like a lot of tools and a lot of resources on Blender,
Yeah,
and
there's
Blender community is huge.
yeah, it is, and I guess since it is free, there are also lots of people who are like providing, I guess, just helping out. They have a lot of free tutorials as well that are, a lot of them are quite good. So yeah, and
Yeah,
that is, yeah.
no, for sure. Yeah, definitely. It's like nowadays it's becoming more and more I would say mainstream. I mean Blender. So specifically, well, for hard surface, but definitely, I mean, characters are possible, and I'm impressed to see that to what level, to kind of what extent. So another question that I had for you is about like the presentation and the story. So I know you mentioned that you want to improve the storytelling aspect, but I mean, I can totally see that some of your characters do have a story, and like, where do these stories come from? Do you put existing characters in new stories, or are they old stories? I mean, there is something like um we're gonna show the stories now. I'm just gonna put some of the characters on the screen, But and we're gonna put the links in the show notes. But yeah, so like, can you explain a little bit about that? So how do you come up with ideas, how to present your characters, and all of this?
So I guess I do also get like references and ideas from the real world as well. Like maybe if I see somebody wearing something while they're walking on the street, that might be something that I like remember, and I'll like put it in the back of my head and then pull it out later on if I, have a character and I want to stick them somewhere. Then that might be somewhere I get inspiration from.
Oh, yeah, no, cool. So like real life for inspiration, I think is always super helpful.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah, well, I mean, this is kind of, this has been really interesting. I've got another like last bit that is a part of the podcast tradition. So we always run a 10 question questionnaire where you're allowed to answer with just a few words. So if you're ready, I'm just gonna shoot you some 10 questions, and yeah, and you can
Sure.
yeah, you've got a few
Okay.
words to answer each. Okay, and
Yeah.
awesome. So let's go. What's your number one tip for combating distractions when working from home?
So I actually do get distracted quite easily. But if I really do want to focus, I put on headphones with white noise, and then it stops me from, yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite tradition or holiday?
Yes, Chinese New Year. So it
All
just involves a lot
right.
of eating. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, mostly.
What's your favorite way to get in some exercise?
Don't really exercise. Yeah,
That's okay. Lifting the pen, that works.
yeah.
Okay. What's your most used emoji?
Probably the sweat smile. Yeah.
Okay. What's your source of inspiration?
So I guess anime and games. Yeah.
Special question to you. What's your favorite anime?
Uh, the thing is, there are lots. But I guess at the moment, one that I'm watching now is Attack on Titan. Yeah, which I'm really enjoying. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
So I guess it's a bit harsh in a way, but it's like just because you spend a lot of time on something doesn't mean other people will think it's good.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God, you're so
Yeah.
hard on yourself. Oh
Yeah. No, I think it
man.
helps to have a thick skin sometimes, like especially when it comes to getting feedback from people online. Sometimes it can be a bit, maybe word things a bit strongly, or maybe just not even have constructive things to say.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
definitely need to be able to uh, take that it helps to improve that way. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's strong, but I think there is definitely there is a lot of power in that. Um, how do you celebrate little victories?
um Snacking.
Nice.
Eating. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. More eating, yes, of course. If you could if you could see in a movie again for the first time, which one that would be and why?
So I guess Spirited Away. Yeah, I just
Yes.
like to go through the world again, I guess, from fresh eyes. Yeah.
Cool. So, last two. If you could choose any two famous people to have dinner with, who would you pick?
uh, I think I'd be too panicky to like be of anything.
That's a fair answer. I could take that.
Yeah.
All right. And the final one, what's your backup career?
Um, yeah, I guess going into art maybe more. Since
Finally,
that's what I want.
finally,
Yeah,
you're going to art. Okay,
yeah.
let's fix it. Yeah. Okay. And like it just, I mean, I know I was going to round up, but you mentioned something that I want just to elaborate a little bit more. So, like the haters' comments and some of this, have you gotten a lot?
Not too many. I think I do have at least the people who follow me. A lot of them are really supportive and they're really kind. It's just maybe at times when some of my more things that went a bit more mainstream, I guess, where they were shared a lot, and I had people outside who didn't follow me who saw it, and they would leave things like, yeah, that were a bit just just not really
Just not kind.
useful. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
it's not too many though, but yeah, they're
Yeah.
like the occasional one,
Yeah.
just for yeah.
Do you do anything about them?
So one thing is like I ask why exactly they feel that way, and if they could like be more specific. And sometimes I do get like some better feedback from there, or sometimes they kind of might double down on it even more.
Oh
And
my God, double down on their crap.
well, yeah. So I guess it's just knowing that there are people who still do like enjoy my work, and they're actually trying to help me with giving like good feedback and trying to help me point out like where they think maybe is wrong and needs some fixing. I guess they kind of motivate me to improve more. So I try to like focus more on them more so that compared than the than the other people. Yeah.
Okay. And so, do you have like like on the flip side, do you have any online like fans and friends? Did you meet any like since you started being more active?
Yeah, there are definitely some people that I started talking to that I probably wouldn't have ever interacted with if I didn't post my work online, I guess, which is really cool. So, yeah.
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 And I guess like you're not like super outgoing person in like real life. So was it
No.
hard for you to start posting?
Yeah. It took a long while for me to get into Instagram, especially because I guess I do get a bit comfortable just without it, and then it's just like another area that I have to like, I guess, put some effort into like posting on a regular basis. Yeah, but definitely it was like, yeah, it's really nice to, I guess, hear some of the things that people have to say, and yeah,
So you
really
don't
appreciate them.
regret that you started actually being a little bit more active online?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely, yeah, it's just really nice to, I guess, having people interested in my work and wanting to see more of my work is like pretty crazy. Yeah, I didn't never really expected this kind of attention, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like I definitely agree that you should keep doing that and do more of that. And God knows where it takes you, because when a lot of people like what another person does, it just could bring a whole lot of opportunities. So, you know, just to round
Yeah.
up, huge congrats on making really really likable art and overcoming a whole bunch of like hardships that amateurs have in the very beginning and beginners have before they even post. Yeah, anyways. So yeah, and Cheryl, thanks so much for coming on Art Heroes podcast. Appreciate your time and best of luck. Would like to see what happens with you in the future. And yeah, thanks so much for
All right,
being
thank you
here.
so much for having me. Yep. All
All righty, cheers.
right, see you.
See you.
Thank you guys for listening. And again, happy holidays. I'm wishing you an amazing 2021. It's an actual honor and a privilege having great listeners like you guys. And thank you so much for all the comments that you're leaving, for all the emails that we're getting. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be serving you here. So please Have an amazing end of the year. Celebrated really, really well. We got to December. That's a great achievement. And I'll see you in 2021 on the same show. Stay safe.
Thanks for listening to Art Heroes Podcast. Check out www.artheroes.co for show notes, more interviews, and free tools made for you by our team of mentors. Tune in next week for more inspiration, and keep up the great work, hero.